Hello and welcome back everyone, I'm Day-Glo Buffalo and this is Let's Play Technobabylon. When we last left off, we were with Max in this, in the lab with the former Dr. Baxter, or better yet, the remains of his body. And we were looking for a certain number of DNA samples from plants which should contain encoded into their DNA sequence a message from Charlie as to what was going on here, or better, what happened when he came here. Problem is that so far we have found none of what we were looking for. We have the name of one of the plants that we're looking for, and we have a description of one of the plants that we were looking for. Yet we have not found either of them. So let's head back out for now. We also came across this guy who makes no sense when we talk to him. And then there's the airlock back here that we cannot get into. So far, not a whole... What? Why is she going back there?
Warning.
Yep.
Security clearance not valid for access to Growth Lab. Vickerman Pharmaceuticals thanks you for your cooperation.
We cannot get into the Growth Lab, which is a problem. So, I don't know. Let's see what Dr. Chigwa has to say about this.
Excuse me, Dr. Chigwa?
Make it quick, I'm busy.
So remind me how sampling works. Neester is not making any sense.
I tried talking to your intern. It wasn't helpful.
Oh, never mind that. He's got aphasia.
Isn't that treatable?
Oh, yes. He just gave it to himself. It's what the kids are into these days.
Crippling neurological disorders?
Yes and no. Maladism, they call it. They give themselves old diseases. It only lasts about a week each time.
And you let him do that?
He's not public-facing, and as long as it doesn't get in the way of his work. I figure we all did things the old folks thought were stupid back when we were kids.
Yeah, giving yourself diseases for recreational purposes. That's certainly smart.
I need to ask Neester about the tampered specimens. How do I cure his aphasia?
Well, you wouldn't really cure it. He doesn't actually have the disease. It's essentially wetware designed to occupy the Wernicke and Broca regions of the brain. This then produces the symptoms of the disease. That's what they're going for.
I can't wait a week for the wetware to break down.
Find a way to break it down early then. If we've got an emergency contamination, we use hydroxypyruvate isomerase. It's an enzyme that instructs the fabricators in wetware to disassemble themselves.
Okay. Took down a note of what we're looking for. So we're looking for this stuff to give Neester, but she won't tell us where we can find it. We can't get into the airlock.
I can't get into the airlock.
The airlock and the growth lab are secure areas. We grow potentially hazardous organisms beyond those doors.
I'm trying to conduct an investigation here. Don't make me get a warrant from Central.
I'm sorry, Central would likely agree with us. We can't just give anyone access to the growth lab.
Not even a cell agent?
I'd need a pretty damn good reason.
So Central would agree with them. Maybe we can go over Central's head.
Is that all?
For now.
Then if you'll excuse me, I'll get back to work.
Maybe we can go over Central's head. Or we can have somebody overrule Central on that. And the most highly placed person that we know is in Fulcrum Tower. Central Controller.
Dr. Lau, so good to see you again, my dear.
Ooh, painting. A classically styled painting, Pygmalion by Simon Denver.
That's not possible.
Yeah, she probably wouldn't want to grab that off the wall. Is there anything else? Dr. Vargas, Galatea, in the window.
Wow, what a view. You could probably see all the way to Mombasa on a clear day.
Mombasa? Huh. That would place us in East Africa, wouldn't it? I think so. I was actually more guessing Southeast Asia. I'm not sure why. But, yeah, well, East Africa it is. So, anyway, let's talk to Dr.
I never
Vargas.
thought the controller of centralized government would look so human.
Yes, that was the wrong button that I pressed.
Dr. Vargas, I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may.
Certainly, my dear. Anything I can do to help.
Wow, that's a lot of conversation. What do you do?
What would you describe your role here as, Dr. Vargas?
This is publicly available information, Dr. Lau.
Now, Galatea, it is a reasonable question. For the past 18 years, I've held the role of controller of centralized government. I ensure that Central, our city governance CI, is functioning within parameters.
What would you say your political function within the city is?
None at all. The elected council formulates city policy. It is merely Central's role to execute this and ensure the day-to-day well-being of the city.
And it is Dr. Vargas's role to maintain Central's operations. Surely you're already aware of this, Dr. Lau.
Just wanted to get it from the source.
Sometimes our desire to remain outside the political spectrum has led to rumors. We are not, however, the secret puppet masters behind the government of Newton.
I shouldn't count you as my boss, then.
Dr. Lau.
Heavens no, my dear. If anything, we are equals on an administrative footing. Central acts as director for both of our operations, though.
So can he give us a search warrant? How long have you known
How
Regis?
long have you known Dr. Regis?
Since 2067, he joined a research project of mine. He was a good man then, very principled.
And now?
I have no doubt goodness remains. Though since joining CEL, I feel that he expresses this solely through his work.
Do you know about his garden on Tier 42 of this building?
Ah, yes. I've been there myself a couple of times. Though I hope we can keep that between us, Dr. Lau.
What did you think of it?
It is certainly an interesting way of coping with grief. Though that it has lasted so long is perhaps cause for concern.
What else can you tell me about this incident?
What can you tell me about this incident?
Currently not a great deal, hence why you have been tasked with this investigation. Dr. Baxter has been found murdered in his workplace, and Dr. Regis was caught entering and leaving the facility by their security infrastructure.
How about a background to the case? A history?
Baxter has been responsible for the murder of Viksha Regis.
Charles Regis's wife.
He was caught and convicted, and until recently had been serving a sentence for the crime.
I'm aware of this so far, yes.
He had recently been paroled with the Vickerman Corporation as his sponsor. I can only imagine Regis's feelings on the matter.
Violent, no doubt.
But I knew Charlie Regis, and I know what kind of man he was. Justice is his motivator, but with his background, out in the hot zones.
You worry that this might have been his idea of justice?
Precisely. That, my dear, is why I need you to investigate this case before Central jumps to any conclusions to the matter.
So can I have a search
You
warrant?
mentioned Regis's wife, Viksha.
Ah, yes, Vicky. She was a student of mine in the 50s in Buenos Aires. She spent several years working for the UN in hot zones around the world. When she had finished, she was the natural choice for the project I was just commencing.
He never really spoke about her.
They were very much in love. It pains me greatly to see a man so afflicted by a loss.
She was a engineer as well?
Yes and no. She specialized in organic computing, a field perhaps more closely aligned to your own.
Would someone else have done this?
Though Regis has an obvious motive, can you think of anyone else who might have a reason to do this?
I shall be honest. Dr. Baxter was not an easy man to work with. There were many who disliked him in his time, though none I knew could call him his enemy.
I'm worried that all these conversation options are not getting less. Just staying... It's still a screen full of them. We're gonna be here a while, I think. Your project with the
You
Regis...
mentioned a project that Viksha was recruited for.
I'm afraid that's classified.
Galatea, how can we help if we block every question? It was a project that utilized the expertise of both Viksha and Charles. Essentially, we were studying organic interfacing and large-scale computing.
Large scale, as in city coordination intelligences, like Central?
On this matter, I can answer no further.
All right, Baxter.
What was your opinion of Dr. Baxter?
As a scientist 20 years ago, he was peerless in his field.
But as a human being?
He did not take refusal well. This apparently is what led to his breakdown.
And the murder that followed that.
Precisely. I have not spoken to him personally since the trial, however. I'm afraid I couldn't enlighten you about his recent state of mind.
Baxter's body.
I examined Dr. Baxter's body at the laboratory.
What did you find?
He's been decapitated, his head smashed in.
My goodness!
I've taken initial readings, but they're proving inconclusive, even time of death. The lab's environment is throwing the chromatographs. Once he's been moved to cell for autopsy, we should get a clearer picture of what happened.
Why did you cut Central's feed?
Dr. Vargas, I really need to ask. In my office, why did you cut Central's feed?
That's classified, Dr. Lau.
I'm afraid I cannot give you a complete answer on that subject. But a number of factors regarding yesterday's network attack have raised concerns. Not least the timing. It may be that Central's administration has been compromised.
You believe it's linked to Baxter's murder?
What makes you say that?
You cut the camera when talking to me about it. You were concerned that whoever may have compromised Central would find out what we were discussing.
Ha! Well, I have no fear of the quality of Cell's investigative staff now.
I learned from the best.
This is a lovely office. Yeah, sure. Let's make some small talk, why not?
It's a fantastic view from up here.
Isn't it? That's why I choose to work from up here.
The only part higher in Fulcrum Tower is Central's operating center.
You could probably see all the way to Mombasa on a clear day.
Your assistant.
I'm certainly aware of your role in the city, Dr. Vargas. But who is your lovely assistant?
Of course, you haven't been properly introduced. This is my daughter, Galatea. She fills the role of my administrative support.
I'm being groomed for succession, apparently.
Oh, don't put it like that. You make it sound so dynastic. That certainly is not what we wish to represent.
Okay.
What was your field before going into politics?
I was a computer scientist and a lecturer at Buenos Aires. In the 60s, the government of Newton was looking for research administrators. It eventually transpired that this role in itself was a kind of test.
The city council was looking for suitable individuals to manage Newton's new CI.
Central?
Yes and no. It was what eventually became Central.
All right, let's talk about the mindjacking cases.
Dr. Vargas, have you heard of mindjacking?
Excuse me?
I'm afraid I have not, Dr. Lau. What is it?
It's the case Regis and I were working on lately. A number of individuals had their brains flash-wiped by a destructive copying technique.
That sounds most appalling, Dr. Lau. Does it pertain to this case?
Not that I'm aware of, sir. It might give someone a reason to frame Regis, though. Especially if they thought that we were getting too close.
So, perhaps Regis is a victim of attempted character assassination. To use Baxter as a means of doing so would be drastic.
Why don't you think Regis did this? Can I please have a search
Why
warrant?
would you believe that Dr. Regis is responsible for Baxter's death?
I cannot say for certain that he is not, Dr. Lau. I simply hold on to the hope that he is not.
Regis left a message.
My investigation has brought up an interesting find. It appears that while he was at the lab, Regis took the time to alter some of the specimens there.
Really? That is most peculiar.
Even more so, he appears to have hidden a quaternary data string in the genomes of these subjects.
What does the data contain?
An audio-visual message, but it's still fragmented. I believe that Regis was trying to leave a message directed at myself, regarding what happened.
This is a remarkable find, Dr. Lau. Please, continue your work. This may clear up what really happened in that laboratory.
Yes, can I have a search warrant though, please?
While I was speaking to Dr. Chigwa, she told me about Central. Apparently both Charlie and Victor Regis were involved in its creation.
Dr. Lau, that's classified.
I believe we can trust her, Galatea. Indeed, I brought Viksha onto the project at its inception. She recommended Charlie. They were not married at this stage.
This is unbelievable. He doesn't exactly have a high regard for Central.
I suppose I can sympathize. It is an unhappy association for him. Yet he will not allow himself the glorious reputation and history he deserves as one of those who created Central, an AI like none before.
Thank you, Dr. Vargas. You've been most helpful.
Anything I can do to help.
Okay, well, that gave us a lot of background, but it didn't give us a search warrant. Can we talk to the assistant, maybe? Dr. Vargas' young assistant watches you keenly, as though she thought you might break something if unsupervised.
You should have made an appointment.
How? Well, it doesn't matter. We already talked to him anyway, but... So I guess he doesn't give us a search warrant. Oh, man. There, my hopes dashed. I guess let's try to head back to HQ and see if we can figure anything out there. Maybe Central can give us a search warrant? Can we talk to... genome data? Wait.
Dr. Lau, please continue your investigation of the murder of Dr. Baxter. Your involvement has been requested by the highest levels of civil government. Please find data relevant to the case on your secure system at cell headquarters.
Yeah, I think we already read that.
A physical photograph. The team. February 2067.
You know, Adam...
Regis is probably the only person I know who'd want his picture on paper. I guess defacing a digital one just isn't the same. Hey, there's Dr. Chigwa as well.
Maybe we can give it to her.
What do you think of this?
Oh my. Is that? Goodness, it seems like such a long time ago. The project was just starting and we were all so buoyant, so keen.
I've never seen Regis looking this happy before.
He was a different man before he lost Vicky. He's always been a good one, though. I still can't quite believe he'd have done this.
And if you don't help me, Central's going to hunt him down. Please, Dr. Chigwa, I need to get into the growth lab as part of my investigation.
All right, then. I don't know if you'll find anything significant in there. If it helps clear Charlie, though, there. I've added you to the access list.
Yes! Finally! Thank you! Oh, man. Alright, so now we can get into the DNA lab. Or... what was it? The growth lab? Wow, considering that so far we haven't found a single plant of the ones we're looking for. Yes, we're finally in. And we have a first aid kit here. What can we get out of here?
This could be useful. Looks like a lot of cartridges for the injector.
Ooh, yeah, what was the stuff we needed for the guy with aphasia? Hydroxypyruvate isomerase. I think that was it. I only wrote down isomerase, but it's the only one that actually has this in its name, so that should be the correct one.
I'm afraid not.
You stare into the UV lighting. Unsurprisingly, it makes your eyes hurt. Okay. There's pipes. Can we do anything with them?
Nothing happened. They've got these pipes everywhere.
Not sure what to make of that. UV lighting. I don't know. Let's go into the growth lab. Okay. Oh, that looked like a sign or something. Anyway, control panel, blue plants. We're not looking for blue plants, we're looking for yellow plants.
They're keeping things in here because they're dangerous or unusual. Probably not what I want to be carrying around.
You have a control panel. Growth chamber A. Adoxaceae penans. Status germination complete. Chamber B. Adoxaceae hispanis. Status growth expected as per modification. Okay, these are not the plants you're looking for. Or we are looking for. And we're looking for ones with yellow flowers. So these are blue and red. Can we go down the ladder? Yes, we can. Okay, what do we have here? Ladder. We can't even... Growth cylinder. This one... Is this empty? Growth 1. Chamber A. Not in use. Chamber B. Beta vulgaris. Status cyclic... Or cyclic. Testing ideal ambient temperatures for new strain. Ooh, yellow plants.
They're keeping things in here because they're dangerous or unusual. Probably not what I want to be carrying around.
Yeah, but can I look at them? Yes, with the right mouse button I can. Okay, one of the specimens in a specialized growth cylinder. Spiny leaves, yellow flowers, and small fruit. Yup, I think this is what we're looking for. Finally! Some success. Chamber A, Orchidaceae isotria. This is the other one we were looking for. Alright, version 2.47. Status updated version, TM and copyright Typho Labs. And Chamber B, Adoxaceae medica. Status testing epiphytic structure alterations. Alright, so let's use, can we just use the DNA sample on this? Yes, we can.
I've taken a DNA sample from it. They're keeping things in here because probably not what I want to be carrying around.
Oh, I wanted she to sample it, not carry it.
I've taken a DNA sample from it.
Alright, so some success. Ooh. I
don't know what's in them, but they look important.
Can we interact with these pipes?
Oops.
Okay, yeah, I don't think we were meant to do that. Let's get out of here before anybody notices.
Warning, copyright breach in progress.
Excuse me?
You are not authorized to remove Orchidaceae isotria samples from the growth lab. They are copyrighted property of Typho Labs GmbH. Beginning purge.
Hey, my sample!
Oh no.
What did you do?
to prevent theft of intellectual property. Gene sequences in your possession have been neutralized. Have a nice day.
Gee, thanks.
So we lost our samples? Did we lose all our samples? No, we still have the other one. Well, let's see what happens with the other one. If nothing else, we may still have a partial success. So can we just stick it in here? Modified sequences identified. Cross-loading to audio data stream.
There's some more.
Okay, well that was audio file incomplete. Please add missing sectors to file and try
I'm going
again.
to need to find where he's hidden the rest of the message before I get any sense out of it.
Yeah, well, I have to find out how to get that stuff out of the lab. Maybe I could talk to Dr. Chigwa about
Excuse me,
it.
Dr. Chigwa?
Make it quick, I'm busy.
Remind me of how sampling works. How can I fix Neaster? Any other samples? Nope.
Is that all?
For now.
Then if you'll excuse me, I'll get back to work.
Well, let's try fixing Neaster. At least we should be able to do that. Not the DNA sampler, I need the injector.
An evil engine of desire wrapped within a rude message.
Really? How interesting.
Beached questions, you injector.
Say that again?
Overpass, did you stick me with an injector? Now I'll have to get my aphasia reject. Not cool, man.
All right.
Excuse me.
Yeah?
We can talk to him now. Who are you?
I'm CS Dr. Lau. I've been tasked with this investigation.
Martin Easter. I've been tasked with the factory lab.
You work with Dr. Chigwa?
I work for Chikwa. I'm just the intern. Means I get stuck with lousy jobs she won't do.
I understand. I was an intern once.
So, what's CS? Detective?
Case specialist. So, yes, I guess you could say that.
Cool.
What happened
I'd like
here?
to hear from you what happened.
So, we came in this afternoon for the late shift, right? I checked on the factoring line, and it turns out the specimens are nuked up.
In what sense?
They don't match the catalog anymore. Not that they're supposed to be. I figured Baxter nuked it up again, so I checked the feed.
That's when you found the body?
Yeah, but the Chico won't let me get a look. Told me to get back to work what she called cell. Hey, can I get a look at the body with you?
I'm afraid not. Official procedure stuff.
Bummer.
Why'd you go and give yourself aphasia?
Not just that. There are loads of syndromes. It's maladies, man.
Aren't diseases like that dangerous, though?
It's not permanent, man. We ain't stupid. What wear nodes in the body create the symptoms of things we want, which you went and broke. Gee, thanks.
Sorry about that. In any case, they're temporary then.
Exactly.
What's the appeal of maladies? Huh.
I still don't get it. What's the hook for maladies?
Man, you old folk never get things like MD.
Old?
Most of these syndromes are diseases that are completely curable. They just don't happen anymore. Society says no to them.
So it's countercultural? An act of rebellion?
Exactly. Diseases like that make the establishment uncomfortable. They don't want it to be a part of their society. But we show them they can't ever get rid of it completely.
You're rubbing their faces in it then.
And in another way, it's kinda retro. Illnesses like that are what shape society. The Black Death made Europe what it is.
Gotta appreciate the classics.
For a lot of us, it's also about who's hardest. Posers go for little things like botulism or influenza. But you know someone's got real nose on them if they can stand a month with HIV.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm not even gonna touch that.
So, what other diseases have you tried?
Loads of them. Parkinson's, syphilis, tuberculosis. Last month, it was Hansen's disease.
Wait, leprosy?
Yeah, if you're a Zift, Hansen's is the real name.
Sounds like quite a selection.
It's why I came to study in Newton. Eurofed's just starting to get into MD culture, even talking about banning it. Newton's where it's at for it. You guys are a lot cooler about what you let people do.
On an individual basis, certainly. That's pretty much the founding philosophy here.
All right, let's talk DNA samples. Finally something interesting.
Dr. Chikwa tells me that some of the specimens have been tampered.
Oh yeah, I found one of those. Man, couldn't they have just killed the guy without messing up my work?
I need to find it. Which specimen was it?
Oh, a Corsae Brasileira. When I found it, I just thought Baxter was nuking it up again.
What did you do with it?
I just sent it back to the specimen lab. Should be there in the sample store.
All right, so another sample we found that, or we know where to find. That's 3 of 4. We still need one of them. I can't get O out of the growth
I
lab.
need to remove the Orchidacea isotria sample from the growth room. Thing is, the airlock told me it was copyrighted, then blasted me with gas.
Yeah, that one belongs to Tifu. They're way touchy about it. Only lab staff were able to remove it for factory.
Could you get the sample for me?
Hey, no way, man. I'm already on 2 strikes for taking stuff out of the lab.
So you could, but you won't.
Sorry, man. Jake already thinks I'm stealing stuff. There's a huge street market for things like spark fruit or cracked wetware.
Okay, there's a burst pipe. So we already did that.
Hey, the pipes in the growth lab are leaking.
Ah, yoke it. Again? Better go fix it before Chiqua starts yelling.
So did he just go into the growth lab? Because he took that bag with him. And since we couldn't get anything out of the toolkit that he was carrying, maybe we can put our DNA sample into it so he can carry it out. Well, anyway, I think we're gonna try that in the next video. So for now, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like or a comment below, and I will see you in the next part. So until then, have a good one.